I've really enjoyed the moments we've got in Two Blue Vortex and the discussions we've got out of it. Like the what happened with that Clawgram that attacked Kawaki, that's a fun discussion. Seeing Uzuhiko at the end of the month and then next month
Yeah.
the entire Uzuhiko chapter, that was really fun. Seeing just like the tension anticipation of seeing how Boruto versus Code would go, that was really hype. Um just seeing the characters in time skip, that's fun as well, obviously. Um seeing Himawari growing up as well. We get a little tease at Boruto versus Kawaki. That was awesome. We got Flying Raijin. The community was losing their mind at that time. And then, in my opinion, I think the my favorite moment of Two Blue Vortex so far is the reveal of Hidari, and then Boruto versus Hidari for the little bit that we got. The way
Well,
they
I
went
think
about that, executing that was amazing. I love that.
that chapter was good, but I feel like honestly, um, there's a lot of cool moments and like Boruto learning Flying Raijin's awesome because it's a cool jutsu. But I feel like the best thing about this time skip is really just what the same thing it already was. It's the mystery of Amato and the mystery of these divine trees, just instead of the Isuski. It just, for me at least, that's kind of what carries. Everything else, I feel like I'm like, Omnipotence sucks. I already didn't like it. I was warming up to it, and now I hate it again. Um, it's a big focal point in this stupid thing. I'm like, bro, Omnipotence was the worst idea.
Bro,
Should
it's
have just left it
so
the love
funny
charm. Let's be
how every time they explain it, they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. You can't reverse it. Like, there's no point of even talking about it." And they say there's no point of even talking about like every conversation they have about it, which is every chapter. Like, if it was really that meaningless,
and then
don't
like
talk about it. Move on.
yeah, and the worst part about it is it seems to be meaningful. It seems to be doing something for Shikamaru. So it's not like
Can they keep their story straight?
it's just contradictory. Like everything they do with Omnipotence contradicts itself.
No wonder Boruto's falling off. God. What has
That's what
been
I'm
your
saying. I'm
favorite
like,
moment of Two Blue Vortex?
I gotta think. Okay, it's definitely not chapter two.
I mean, single moment. But yeah, that's not
I
okay.
know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think
Okay. Yeah.
of
Yeah.
like what chapter it would be in.
It's not Soegi and his
All right, let me think of
stunning,
certain things at
marvelous
least.
sacrifice.
Um, yeah, I feel like they're kind of scattered.
How are you feeling about
Picking one's gonna be hard,
Pinball?
but
Seeing
Mitsuki
Kashi
questioning
Koji
the sun in
again.
chapter one, I really liked that. Um,
Kashi
oh
Koji
yeah,
was cool.
actually,
Yeah.
I put a lot of stock into that scene when Kashi Koji talks to Boruto at the end of chapter four. I really liked that
Yeah.
because I felt like out of it was one of the best like things that just reminded me like what it means to be a ninja, which is perfect for Kashi and Koji
Yeah.
as a theme, and with Sasuke being the tree in the background,
Yeah.
and he's like basically the narrator of what it means to be a ninja at the end of Naruto. So seeing those two characters in the background when Kashi Koji basically paraphrases what it means to be a ninja, like it doesn't matter, we still must fight. That might be my favorite moment because I think that was just narratively the best thematic moment, honestly. It was just the end of chapter four.
I
And
agree.
it's just literally the shortest scene ever.
Yeah.
But I think
Bro,
that
I'm
is my favorite moment. 'Cause
telling
I
you.
remember when I reviewed that chapter, I went I went on like a 5 minute like just tangent about that scene. And it's so simple. But I'm like, it's literally the best thematic scene, I think.
I'm telling you, that's like the perfect end to the prologue of Two Blue Vortex. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Might as well just been the end of the story. Just kidding. But no,
Jesus.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, moments like that, I think I'm like, dude, this is what I want. This is what I want from Boruto. But I mean, that's only one moment that they did that. Outside of that, I think that's my pick. But outside of that, I really liked Mitsuki questioning the sun. Although I think that they kind of dropped the ball a little bit in this chapter, couldn't have met her. I liked when Mitsuki was just charging after Boruto at the end of chapter six, like the last panel where he's like charging after Boruto. But that was cool. Um, the Divine Trees Awakening, when the Divine Trees pick their targets, that scene I liked a lot. Boruto showing up in chapter one was cool. Boruto landing the Rasengan Uzuhiko and Code was cool. I had mixed feelings about Shikamaru figuring out the truth about Boruto because on one hand I loved it, on the other hand I also thought it made no sense. Um,
So I think this is a
oh,
interesting way to go about
Amato,
it. Oh yeah,
the Amato scene was really interesting too.
it was interesting. Yeah.
Just seeing Amato.
Well, I think it's more the reveal towards the end rather than the entire scene. It was more like a slow build up during that scene.
Yeah, it was just it's the fact that he said that my memories must be altered, and I
Yeah.
just feel like he's immune, so I love that. But
Mm.
I still my pick is the scene with Kashin Koji.
Okay,
Who
I like that.
can he return, please? Is he gonna
Yeah.
disappear for another 5 years?
I think one interesting way of determining best scene versus favorite scene would be okay, so best scene I feel like works very well in the narrative, but it sort of stands on its own. Whereas I feel like favorite scene, that's those are like the moments where you would go to in a reaction video to see someone else react to that scene. So like I agree. I
Not
agree that like
always. I think both can mix match.
no,
I
but
think
I would
best
agree
scene. I
with you
agree
though
with.
because I agree that the best scene is the Kashin Koji scene. I think that that's one of the things I would like to see from a reaction. But I think the best scene, this if I were to go watch a Boruto 2 Blue Vortex reaction, number one thing I'm going to is people's reactions to Hidari and realizing that Sasuke
Well,
and
yeah,
evil Sasuke
that's
is going
fine, but
after Boruto.
I don't think that necessarily has to be a favorite scene. Like I think I agree for the reaction part, but I don't think the favorite scene necessarily correlates to the best scene for a reaction. I think that could be, but I think the best scene for a reaction is where you think you'll get the best reaction out of the reactor. The favorite scene would just be what personal interests, like just what do you like?
Well, I disagree because even if the reactor has a boring reaction, you don't know that until you see it. You're not going there for the reaction. You're going for that scene, which sounds the opposite of what it is, but that is how it is.
Yeah, it's because you're curious what the reaction will be to that
Yeah,
scene.
yeah.
Um, but I don't think that necessarily needs to be your favorite. It's just a scene that you're curious about the reaction to
Okay, well, let me put it this way: a
because
lot
you
of
think it's
people's, I'm not going to say favorite scene, but a lot of people's favorite scene in the Asuma Hidan arc is going to be the moment with Shikamaru and Shikaku playing shogi. That's not going to be some crazy reaction. Not going to be some profound thing. That's by far going to be the most watched segment on any YouTube video of of a reactor reacting to that episode because that's like one of the key
yeah,
moments.
no, but
Yeah,
like,
they're going for that moment.
but it's not because that's everyone's favorite scene. It's a scene that it's just a, it's a big scene. It's just like it's like for example, you might really like this some scene of Kimimaro doing something cool, but it's not necessarily going to be like the scene you really want to see the reaction to. It could be because it's your favorite, but it's not like the
That's what I'm
most viewed
saying.
scene
Yeah.
probably because
So
it's just
I agree.
no,
If
but it
there's a
isn't
random
necessary.
scene of Kimimaru doing something really cool, I know people aren't going to have a big reaction to it because only I care about it, basically. But that's still going to be one of the things that I would personally go to because I like that scene. I want to see other people's reactions to that scene.
Yeah, but I'm saying that it wouldn't necessarily be the most popular like reaction one.
I
Like
agree, but I'm not going for the reaction. I'm going for the scene.
it's just your favorite scene, bro. It's
I'm
just
telling you,
boils
yeah.
down to. It's pretty simple.
There you
It's
go.
just, but it's as simple as that. It just is your favorite scene.
Yes.
Like, I don't think we learned anything from this.
Okay, well, let me give you the opposite of that. So let's say someone has some crazy reaction to some nothing scene, like a scene that people generally consider to be not important. But then one person's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that happened." That's probably going to be the most replayed moment of the YouTube video. Like you can see scrubbing on the timeline of the YouTube video or whatever where the most replayed moments are. That's probably going to be it if they have the biggest reaction. That might be their biggest reaction, but that doesn't correlate to that being your favorite scene. So
Yeah.
yeah, you got to separate the reaction from the scene.
Yeah, I don't think the reaction really has a whole lot to do. I agree that you probably do want to see reactions to your favorite scenes, but I don't think that's the way to figure out what your favorite scene
Well,
is.
I'm not saying. I said that's
you just
a
know.
way you could do it. I'm not saying that's the way. It's not like
Okay.
the only method.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think you would just know your favorite. I don't think I would ever you I don't think I would ever use that method.
That's funny. But it's about like re-experiencing the scene vicariously through someone else. It's like watching along with them for the very first time almost.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm just saying that I don't think that's just not how I would determine what my favorite scene is.
Okay.
I think I would just know.
Well, I'm sorry that you can't see the same value in it that I can.
Anyway, though, picking one favorite scene's hard, but honestly, my favorite scene might still be my pick for the best scene.
That's fair as well. Yeah. I imagine there would be a lot of overlap there.
Yeah, I just remember like out of all the scenes, that was the one I was really like, yo, this is good.